Let's get a view of Khanna, Democratic Congressman from California. Thanks for coming back, sir. Appreciate you coming on our program. Thank you.
I always enjoy being on.
Okay, we queued this up for you last night, Macomb County, Michigan. Here we go.
We want low taxes. You know, the Democrats, they campaign on, we will raise your taxes. All my life I've been watching, and I've never heard people campaigning that they're going to raise taxes. It's always been, we will reduce your taxes, Democrat, Republican. Now they go, we're going to raise your taxes.
There you go, sir. You can return serve or respond to that now.
Yes, we want to raise taxes on people like President Trump and Elon Musk and the billionaires in my district so that we're not cutting Medicaid so that we can provide food for our kids and child care. But look, Bill, the report card is out. It's a pretty objective fact. The GDP was growing at 2.4% in the final quarter of last year when President Biden was in office, and now it's first quarter, negative 0.3%, and the policies just aren't working.
Okay, he says be patient, and we shall hear. By the way, Dr. Oz was on here 2 days ago. He's running Medicare and Medicaid now, as you know. He's saying there are going to be no cuts to either program. That was his word on camera, so we're going to keep it, and we'll see whether or not you're right in the end. As for now, not the case. With regard to politics in D.C., here's what we find. Democratic favorability hit a new low. Now with 56% unfavorable. April of, July of last year is 53%. So you're dipping lower. Confidence in the Congressional Party leaves at all-time low, 25%. Republicans are just a tick below 40%. You're at 25%. What explains that? And is it possible, sir, that like this lack of messaging that we've talked about for so long, it just seems like the Democratic Party is like a ping pong ball, just kind of banging off each wall? How do you see it?
Well, first of all, with Dr. Oz, he has not put any specific cuts that he would do. He's not willing to take on the pharmaceuticals to have Medicare negotiate. He's not willing to take on Medicare Advantage that's actually ripping off Americans by saying that people are sicker. And he's not willing to go against the hospital associations that are charging Americans more for a hospital visit than if you get the same service at a clinic. So he's saying he's going to have these savings on Medicare and Medicaid, but he's not willing to cut the special interest. But your broader point is we have an economic vision. I call it a new economic patriotism. It's pretty simple. Instead of 19th century policies of high tariffs and expansionism, we believe that we should be investing in new advanced manufacturing, that we should have AI-enabled factories across America.
I don't think Republicans would disagree with that.
Well, then let's support the funding. I want to have funding in Lorain, Ohio, in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and hollowed-out communities to put modern factories that are going to make sure we lead in steel.
That's what the tariff idea is all about. To get better trade deals, to bring factories back to the U.S., to do tax deals, make it incentive for people to move their companies back here. That's really the baseline of all of this.
And I have no problem with strategic tariffs to protect industry, but we got to build it first. And to build it, you need to invest in the workforce. You need to invest in financing new factories. Look, I represent Silicon Valley. You talk to Tim Cook at Apple Computers. He'll say, yeah, you want to bring electronics manufacturing here? We've got to have the tool engineers. We've got to have the skilled workforce. We've got to invest in that. And why aren't we bipartisan, investing that in places like Lorain, like Warren, Ohio, like Downriver, Michigan? Democrats will work in a bipartisan way, but a blanket tariff-only policy isn't smart industrial policy.
Okay, we'll see what we get on that. And you did a bipartisan deal with Ted Cruz supporting the First Lady, Melania Trump, in a bill that was passed on the Hill, sir. Please come back. There's much to discuss, and I think you agree with that.
I respect the First Lady for her leadership on that issue.
Thank you, sir, for coming on.